The K-File team scoured Kamala Harris's tweets and statements going all the way back to 2017. And what they found was more than 50 instances of Harris slamming Trump's border wall. But now, new Harris campaign ads actually showcase that very wall.
And then there are other.
She's using his wall that he built to say, look at what I did, basically.
So Kamala Harris got caught today stealing from Donald Trump again, which is nothing new considering that her entire campaign platform is essentially Trump was right about everything, but vote for me instead.
Because when I get to office, we are going to not charge taxes on tips, people making tips.
Taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
But today's case of blatant political plagiarism is arguably even worse than the no tax on tips thing, because apparently she just put together a campaign ad talking about how she's going to be tough on the border and tough on immigration, which is a laughable enough concept in itself. But on top of that, she went so far as to feature images of Donald Trump's border wall in her own campaign ad talking about how she's going to be tough on the border. I'm not making this up, and this was so bad that even CNN went so far as to run an entire segment calling her out on it. Now, I don't know why exactly CNN is attacking Kamala Harris. Maybe they got the feedback of the interview where Dana Bash failed to push back and they feel like they need to, I don't know, save some face. Regardless, we're going to react to it today because it is so unbelievable that they would do something like this. You really thought people wouldn't notice? Well, apparently they didn't. So if you enjoy the content, folks, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you are new. And that said, check this out. This is real.
Tonight, K-File investigates. In a new report, you'll see first out front. The K-File team scoured Kamala Harris's tweets and statements going all the way back to 2017.
We remember.
And what they found was more than 50 instances of Harris slamming Trump's border wall.
Right.
But now, new Harris campaign ads actually showcase that very wall.
As a border state prosecutor, she took on drug cartels and jailed gang members for smuggling weapons and drugs across the border.
And
you almost have to respect just how ridiculously shameless they are. I mean, come on. Nobody thought for a minute, hey, maybe someone's going to notice. We're using Trump's wall in our own ad. I don't know. This is really how they see the American people. They think Americans are so ridiculously stupid. They're going to buy stuff like this. I guess come November 5th, we're going to kind of have an IQ test of this country. But it just, how do you do this? Really? Okay. Well, let's get into this.
The border.
And on top of critical tweets, Harris also wrote in her 2019 book, quote, there was a bigger reason to oppose the border wall. A useless wall on the southern border would be nothing more than a symbol, a monument standing in opposition to not just everything I value, but to the fundamental values upon which this country was built. How could I vote to build what would be little more than a monument designed to send the cold, hard message, keep out? Well, K-File's Andrew Kaczynski joins me now. So, Andrew, I mean, you all have gone through, scoured an incredible amount of material. Tell me more about what you found.
Yeah, that's right. We found more than 50 of those tweets criticizing the border wall before she used that in her ad. And I want people to take a look at just a few of what she said here. She called it wasteful, useless, a waste of taxpayer money, a vanity wall project, a wasteful border wall, a stupid wall, a medieval vanity project, and an unnecessary wall. And those are really just, there were more of those, just like 10 or like 50.
Yeah, there's a million. She was one of Donald Trump's harshest critics when it came to immigration. She also said that undocumented people should not be called illegal, et cetera, et cetera. And once again, this is now what she's campaigning on. It's literally the border wall. It's so ridiculous. But of course, as she said, let's not forget, my values have not changed. OK, this is what Kamala Harris fought for her entire life, and her little rebrand where she fails to really explain how or why she ever changed, because newsflash, she didn't. Yeah, you probably shouldn't believe that. But again, I guess in November, we're going to have an IQ test of the American population, because let's see if people really fall for this.
But there was really a lot of this was the common refrain during the campaign. You read that quote where she said it was against everything that not only she stood for, everything America stood aboard, and she brought this up a lot. Take a listen to just one instance of that in 2019.
It's the president's vanity project.
His multi-billion-dollar vanity project called a wall is nothing more than a distraction from the fact that he actually hasn't focused on working people in America.
I can think of $1 million vanity project. It's called your campaign. It's called your presidential campaign. So true.
He contrived a national crisis around his big distraction.
All right, so you go through all of that, you've got all the tweets, and yet all of a sudden in the ads, there's pictures of the wall, and then you went through to look at that wall. Yeah. Like, what is that specific wall that's in her campaign ads now? And you found something very interesting about this specific portion of the wall.
And I think what's also really remarkable about this is, like, I mean, you heard her talking about it there, Trump's wall in his campaign during his presidency. There was really no greater symbol of Trump's presidency than the wall, and the way that Democrats were attacking him over the wall and his restrictive immigration policies. So we looked in that ad, and if you look at it, that exact area of wall is in Sasabe, Arizona, and that is a portion of wall that was actually built by Donald Trump. It was built in an area where there was not previous wall. It was actually pretty controversial when they were building it at the time. So
yeah, Kamala Harris opposed it. And again, you couldn't have at least found an image of a wall that was, I don't know, built by Obama or like a past president. No, again, they are this shameless. Oh, look at that great wall. Yeah, it looks very secure, doesn't it? Looks like a great border barrier to solve the immigration crisis. I wonder who built that. By the way, this is not some random super PAC ad. Let's be clear about that. This is on, according to CNN, Kamala Harris's YouTube channel. So you can go look at that right now, by the way.
So just to see that, and then there are other...
She's using his wall that he built to say, look at what I did.
And the other images of the wall, we weren't able to pinpoint, but there's telltale signs that was a Trump wall, because there's an anti-climbing plate on top that became popularized during the Trump years.
It's really incredible reporting and important. All right, Andrew Kaczynski and K-File, thank you very much.
Yeah, so there you have it. And again, let's be clear. This was not Kamala Harris just being mildly critical of Donald Trump's immigration policy or something. She went so far as to say that the wall was anti-American. It goes against everything that she stands for and against this country stands for. And she also said, let's not forget in one of those clips that CNN played, that the immigration crisis was not real, right? It was a manufactured crisis. Now she's running campaign ads saying she's going to fix it. Her proof of doing so, a wall that Donald Trump built. It's not a good look for sure. But that said, I mean, let's be real. There is nothing sincere or authentic or real about the Kamala Harris campaign. And it's not just the messaging itself. Turns out today, she also got caught once again. This is not the first time, busing in supporters from out of town to attend her rallies and then touting, look at this amazing crowd size. Yes, it did happen again. Take a listen.
Well, behind me, hundreds of invited Harris supporters are leaving and boarding shuttle buses. This was a departure for Kamala Harris.
Yeah, so this is essentially the theme of her campaign so far. She's running on almost no policies, and the few policies she'll talk about are pretty blatantly stolen from Donald Trump or a complete flip-flop of what she said 4 years ago and basically fought for her entire political career. In terms of the crowd sizes, she claims there's all this big grassroots support, and yet Tim Walz's family, his older brother, is not supporting him. And in terms of these rallies, apparently they are busing in people from out of town. But I guess Kamala Harris, we did find out today, does have one authentic supporter, and his name is, I guess, Vladimir Putin. Take a listen.
If we can name a favorite candidate, it used to be Joe Biden, but now he is not participating in the election campaign, and he recommended to all his allies to support Ms. Harris. So that is what we are going to do. So it was, well, he said that we should, that is why we should also do that. Well, her laugh, she's laughing, her laugh is so fascinating. It means that everything is good, and if everything is good, it means that, for instance, if we're speaking about Joe Biden, there are so many sanctions against Russia introduced, and if everything is good with Ms. Harris, maybe she'll refrain herself from such measures, or maybe she'll change them. So in the end, it will be the choice of the U.S. people, and we will respect this choice.
Okay, so there you have it. Vladimir Putin in endorsement of Kamala Harris. Okay, so maybe, I say maybe the Kamala campaign needs to bus in. Okay, put Vladimir on one of these buses and you'll have a new supporter at your rallies, apparently. That said, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe if you are new, and until next time, God bless and peace.